Okay, is it on or how to turn this on? It's on already, right? Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Attention BOF participants. Attention BOF participants. The next sessions are about to start. For transport, please proceed to auditoriums 2 and 3. For public sector management, please proceed to hall 4. The sessions are about to start. For transport, please proceed to auditoriums 2 and 3. For public sector management, please proceed to hall 4. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. The session will start in 2 minutes. Please come closer to the stage. We still have plenty of seats here.
Attention BOF participants. Attention BOF participants. The sessions are about to start. For transport, please proceed to halls 2 and 3. For public sector management, please proceed to hall 4. Thank you.
Okay, shall we start now? Okay, good afternoon, everyone again. Welcome to BOF 2025 Transport Section Connecting People. My name is Hiet Chan. I will be your moderator for this session. A little bit about me. I'm a senior procurement specialist from the procurement division of ADB. I joined ADB in 2012, about 13 years ago, and I have been always with the procurement division since. For the time being, I provide support to transport projects. I have projects in Southeast Asia and South Asia. Together with me today, I'm very pleased to have colleagues from the transport sector who will take you to different parts of Asia and the Pacific, and of course, they will share with you information about business opportunities in their respective regions. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Unujagan Dalaihu, Transport Specialist, Ritu Mishra, Transport Specialist, Sin Wai Chong, Transport Specialist, and Tomoaki Kawabata, Principal Transport Specialist. Please allow me to use their short names. It is very common in ADB, in the Philippines, in Mongolia, in many parts of the world to use short names. Hello, Unuru, Ritu, Andrew, and Tomo. I think you should sit. Okay. How are you? Excellent. Welcome to the panel. The audience can't wait to hear from you. So may I suggest that we will go through all the presentations first, and then after that, we will have some time for Q&A and conversation. Okay? Let us now begin our journey, starting from the Central West and East Asia region. May I invite Unuru to share with you what this region has to offer you. Unuru comes from this region, so I'm sure she will have a lot of insights to offer you. The floor is yours, Unuru.
Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you very much for convening here today. So it's my great honor to represent the business opportunities in Central West Asia and as well as East Asia. So also before I start, let me just give you a brief overview about myself. So since our moderator nicely introduced me, you can call me Unuro. My name is Unur Jagal, originally from Mongolia. So I've been working in Mongolia for quite some time. And as well as I have been working in Central and West Asia under the Central Asia Regional Economic Cooperation Program since 2009. So like I said, today I'm going to present you about the two regions in Central West Asia and as well as East Asia. So let me start with the sector approach and Central and West Asia region. So ADB has been a long-time promoter for the regional cooperation as mandated by its charter. So oftentimes, developing countries, they prioritize its own country interests, constructing roads and bridges from A to B, and another, B to C. And neighboring countries also doing the same. So with that, at the same time, all those countries, they want to boost the economy and increase the capacity and expand foreign market and do trading with the neighboring countries and beyond. So with that, ADB supports its member countries to improve connectivity with the neighboring countries and the region to develop multimodal transport connectivity through correct transport strategy 2030, and as well as the other regional transport programs like Asian highways, developed and supported by other developing organizations. ADB actually supports, champions and supporting the governments to develop climate-resilient infrastructure through developing green roads toolkit and use of electronic-powered vehicles and supporting infrastructure. Same time, ADB help attract the private sector involvement in developing huge infrastructure, trying to enable environment for private sector shift and to develop business model for public-private partnership. Same time, as everyone witnessing the rapid involvement of digital revolution, ADB is also an active promoter of application of digital solutions like intelligent transport system and digital logistics platforms in the region. So while doing so, we apply differentiated approach by country needs and country economy size and growth. So we tailor our lending products based on the country needs and the interest. So I want to give you some time to give you the opportunities and challenges in the Central and West Asia. So there's a large infrastructure gaps. So before I doing that, I want to ask, can you guess how much transport infrastructure investment needed annually in the Asia region? Do you have any guess? 20 million? 20 billion, okay, nice try. Any guess? Any other guess? So, I'll not bother you too much. So, according to the 2017 study carried out by ADB, annually 560 billion and transport infrastructure investment is needed across Asia and the Pacific. So, with that, ADB is helping government to get, fill that gaps, but our effort is also cannot tackle all of these investments. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. So second challenge there is, as you can see, while DMs is investing in improving connectivity, same amount of infrastructure gets aged every year. Also, the natural disasters will add extra burden to the developing member countries and the region. So while together with the efforts of the government and the Asian Development Bank, but we already witnessed that the weak capacity to develop quality infrastructure projects and as well as implementing the limited knowledge in the government to implement ADB funded projects create another challenge. So same time, due to the recent global challenges, interest rates tend to increase, and the fiscal situation in the developing member countries, same time, gets worsened. So again, there is a rapid digitization in smartphone use and the e-commerce platforms. Again, I want to ask, how many of you using e-commerce platforms or online shopping these days, using your gadgets? Please raise your hand. Yeah, so quite a number of, almost everybody is using that online platforms and e-commerce every day, whereas the number of this usage has been rising at speed, whereas the efforts in investing in improving the basic infrastructures, handling facilities and storage and transportation network cannot catch up the speed. That creates another challenge. So again, due to the recent global tensions and geopolitical challenges create another challenge to shift the transport, the supply chain from the existing or traditional route towards the new and the routes. So again, that adds like rapid urbanization and the movement from the isolated region to the center. That creates another layer of challenges. So as of now, I want to shift to the current portfolio. As of June 30 of 2025, the current ADB's portfolio in Central West Asia region worth of 7.5 billion, with the biggest portfolio in Pakistan in nearly about 2.5 billion, and around 82% of this ongoing portfolio is for constructing roads and bridges. So the portfolio, if you look at in details about the country portfolios by project-specific needs, you can already see as identified in the respective maps. So we, like I said, we provide tailored solutions and the products to develop member countries, and some project itself is as big as these in other countries, the entire portfolio. So some tend to have a smaller package. So we offer loans and the grants depending on the country needs, and as well as depending on the project design. So the pipeline, if you look at, pipeline in a way that for those who are familiar with this aspect, the portfolio is the ongoing projects that's under implementation. The pipeline is our plan towards 2025 to 2028. So between 2025 and 2028, ADB is planning to support developing member countries in Central West Asia region with a total of 5.2 billion worth of investment. That's also already in plan, and some projects are already committed and approved by ADB, some are on the processing stage. So if you look at the breakdown of the pipelines in 2025, you can already see quite a number of the loans and grants and plans. So I don't really want to go through the details of this project list, because this year's Business Opportunities Forum, we already have the dedicated booths outside this in the hallway, so you can reach out to that, the booths and get relevant information about these projects, because these projects are presented by me but handled by my colleagues respectively. So you will be able to have a chance to get connected to the right person and getting the right response if you have any questions. So same as like that, the 2026 pipeline, we have indicative pipelines. So the reason why we're calling indicative is that this might tend to change depending on the country needs and as well as some other, the situations. So clearly, just overall, I want to give you the information that this is, the loan products and our solutions are spread across different countries. And on top of that, not only lending and grant products, we also offer technical assistance depending again on the country's needs, that either to support the preparation of the investment project or as well as supporting the capacity of the governments, or depending on the advancing application of advanced solutions, or etc. So we also already have pipelines of technical assistance projects between 2025 and 2026. Just like I said, you can get more information in the booths. And if you have specific questions and the business opportunities, then we will just guide you, direct you to the right project team leaders in that regard. So without further ado, I will just jump into the East Asia shortly. So this East Asia covers, whereas the Central and West Asia covers with 11 countries, and the East Asia, according to our regional grouping, consists of only 2 countries, China and Mongolia. So the priorities and opportunities are just because even though there are only 2 countries, and the priorities and opportunities in 2 countries are completely different. So that's why I want to distinguish these 2 countries. So opportunities and the priorities for Mongolia is really also promoting regional cooperation, as like ADB is high promoter. So because Mongolia is also active participant in the Central Asia Regional Economic Cooperation Program, and as well as Mongolia will be the host country for the next year's CAREC, all relevant events and the activities. So in that sense, using the CAREC platform, ADB already invested 12 regional projects worth of $1 billion, almost $1 billion US dollar. So we continue to engage with the government in that regard and help support the government of Mongolia. And the key priorities also, like definitely they address the infrastructure gaps, existing gaps, try to make it more interconnected with neighboring countries, and reducing the logistics costs because of the no access to the sea, and improving the urban mobility because urban cities are getting congested. So these are the priority from our transport sector office in Mongolia operation. So while doing that, we just adopting the climate resilient roads, and as well as urban transit BRT network in city, and dry ports, creating or developing dry ports and border crossing points in the priority locations. So like I said, those are the broader aspects, so you can get detailed information about the specific project details, either from the booths, and as well as you can visit to adb.org. And so all of the relevant, especially the ongoing projects, relevant informations are already posted there. So you can reach out to the respective project team leaders if you have any detailed questions. So same as the loan and grant products, we also have technical assistance in Mongolia. Like some are also helping developing this regional road development, and some are just really to help strengthen this country's capacity adopting new technologies in the country. So I shift to shortly to the priorities and opportunities in the China. So it's really like to support green, resilient, and smart transport through multimodal and intelligent system, given its the advanced development of the country's existing infrastructure network. So while the Mongolia and any other countries tend to learn from others, then China's is interesting is that they prioritize that they're the strongest promoter of regional cooperation program, not the beneficiary, mainly the contributor of the regional cooperation programs, and for the CAREC program, as well as the Greater Mekong region covering the East Asian countries. So they tend to share its replicable solutions that are already tailored and tested in the mainland of China to the other development member countries. This is how we benefit from the China. So as well as in the operations-wise, they piloting integrated and innovative transport solutions that really generate transferable knowledge and regional public goods. So this is how we benefit, and this is how our operations are focused in China. So again, these are the ongoing projects in the China, so worth of 1.2 billion US dollar. And also at the same time, there are a few technical assistance projects are being implemented in China. And overall, did I press the right button? Yes. The pipeline in East Asia covering both Mongolia and China is indicated here. So with that, you can approach these are the opportunities that are not, that will be coming available in the coming future. So same time, even though some countries like China are more advanced and the Mongolia tend to have, so each country has different, the challenges. So that really consists of, the lack of, the clarity around the roles and responsibilities of the local and the national agencies in Mongolia, and delays in the preparatory actions and the land and acquisition, those kind of things, really to delay and add extra burden to initiate the projects. So in the China, whereas this alignment of project designs with the approved master plan, because master plans are prepared well ahead, so this needs to be aligned, which sometimes take a lot of time and would create another layer of challenges for ADB's operation. So in China, also another thing should be aware of is the complex approval process across the different government levels and different autonomous regions. And so that takes an extra layer of approval and implementation process. So at the same time, even though China is one of the advanced or more experienced government counted as more experienced countries, there exists the weakness in the capacity preparation of the implementation of projects depending on where the project is being implemented. So I stop here, and so more detailed package, like on top of the listed ongoing projects and the proposed investment projects, we already prepared some procurement and consulting packages that are planned to be advertised in coming days or coming quarters or years by countries and under the projects. So all those information can be obtained from the booths. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, Unuru. We will meet her later during the Q&A. Leaving Central West and East Asia behind, we are now visiting a very different part of the world, the Pacific Islands. And Ritu will be your guide this time. Over to you, Ritu.
Thank you, Head. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for joining us in this business opportunity fair. My name is Ritu Mishra. I'm transport specialist with ADB since last 7 years, and I mostly work for Central West and Pacific region. So basically, we have very interesting 14 developing member countries in our Pacific region, which varies from different size, different topography, different challenges, and from very interesting countries from FSM, which has more than 600 islands in 4 different states, which 4 different states work as 4 different countries, and we also have countries like New, which has less than 2,000 which has around 2,000 population and is still one of these states with the smallest population. And we have a very good mix of countries here. So our transport operations in Pacific is guided by Pacific approach, which is from 2021 to 2025. And our key focus areas are looking into more transport as a lifeline, which is vital for connectivity, trade, education, health in remote islands. We also look into climate resilience, ensuring roads, ports, and airports which can withstand extreme weather and rising seas. We look into the inclusion, designing projects that benefit women, vulnerable groups, and outer island communities. We also focus more on regional context, addressing unique challenges like small scale, high cost, and geographic dispersion. In terms of project readiness, it is one of the critical factor in ADB in the Pacific region for project approval. Through project readiness financing, we ensure that when projects are approved, they already have designs, bidding documents, and safeguards in place. This means procurement is faster, projects move quicker, and risks are reduced. We also use advanced contracting, inviting bids before project approval to save time and give contractors early visibility. And most importantly, every project now integrates into climate resilience and inclusivity as core design features. So for you as partners, this means a pipeline of opportunities that are better prepared, better packaged, and more predictable. So this slide shows you our overall portfolio in our 14 Pacific DMCs. Overall, it's already over 1.8 billion at the moment, and this amount is already a significant investment for a reason of small and scattered countries. PNG accounts for the largest share, reflecting both its size and its critical infrastructure needs, but every Pacific country has projects that are truly transformational and for connectivity and resilience. So this is the pipeline of our projects for 2025. There's a significant number of projects planned in Pacific region for 2025. You can get the details of the project in transport booth, and you can there's all the information relating to the PTLs. And if you have any questions, you can directly contact them or ask someone sitting in the booth to arrange meetings for you. So this now shows some of the opportunities coming up in the Pacific transport sector pipeline from 2026 to 2028. We have very interesting projects lining up. From FSM, we are preparing sustainable transport and connectivity enhancement project, which will look more into integrating maritime and road sector to make transport network more resilient. In Vanuatu, we are preparing Wharf Road earthquake recovery project and also a major maritime development project to upgrade critical port infrastructure. Both will involve both substantial civil works and consultancy contracts. We also have in Samoa the climate resilient land transport connectivity project, which will roll out in 2026 with at least one large civil works package and multiple consultancy packages. For the details of this project, you can further visit the transport booth where you will have all this information. Yes, I would also like to mention one interesting aviation project in PNG, which will involve upgrade of about 8 airports, including runway extensions and strengthening works with large contract works, each valued around 30 to 40 million. And this is just a snapshot across the Pacific, from maritime projects to digital transport solutions. The pipeline is rich with opportunities for companies that are ready to bring resilience, quality, and innovation. There's also a number of TAs, technical assistances, planned for each countries, depending on the government's request and the project needs. Under these technical assistances, there will be several need for the consulting services and individual consultants. So you can further contact from the details. You can take the details from the booth and further contact the PTLs. these are just the snapshot of some of the opportunities. And as I mentioned, I just want to reiterate that you can also get these details of these opportunities in the booth. So I'll just skip these slides. In Pacific region, we also use regional technical assistance, which help us to support multiple countries relating to project design, safeguards, procurement, or capacity building. It helps us to mobilize expertise quickly, respond to emergency needs, and share lessons across borders. For our partners, it also means more consistent pipelines and faster moving opportunities. So these regional TAs help us to deliver the projects on time. Looking into the issues and challenges of the Pacific, we need firms that can bring more digital innovation, from asset management system to smart mobility platforms, depending on the country's context and need. We need expertise in climate adaptation, from flood-proof roads to cyclone-resilient warps. And we also need companies committed to more inclusive practices, training local workers, empowering women, and transferring knowledge so that capacity remains in the region long after projects are completed. The Pacific may be remote, but it is also a place where innovation can flourish and where your expertise can make transformative difference. With this, I'll just like to close my presentation, but I would like to conclude with that the Pacific is not just a region of challenges, it also comes with a lot of opportunities. Every contract you take on here is more than a project, it is an investment for resilience and sustainability. And in the future of communities that depend on safe and reliable transport. So as ADB, we are committed to building that future together with governments, communities, and with you and private sector. So let's work on that together. And if you want, as mentioned, if you want any specific details, please visit our booth, and we'll be happy to provide you very specific questions relating to the project. I'll stop here and hand over the floor to Heath.
Thank you very much, Ritu. We will talk to you later. And now we are coming back to the big continent to visit South Asia. And let me invite Angel to come to the podium and to share with the audience about the opportunities over there.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angel. I am the transport specialist joining in 2018. I joined at the same time as Ritu, and I now tend to forget which year I joined. But yeah, I start with working with South Asia countries, and I'm still with South Asia, and now also covering a little bit in Southeast Asia. But for today, here, I will be covering the portfolio and the business opportunity for South Asian country. Just that we have a lot of information with my two colleagues there. For the audience, just a checking. Who has experience working in our South Asian country, which is covering these countries: India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Maldives. Someone with the hands up if you are having working experience over there. Right, maybe less than a quarter. So good. We have a lot of new opportunities for the audience today. So as you see, we have a very big portfolio in India, which is our leading countries among the others, South Asia transport portfolio. And follow with Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bhutan. And currently, we do not have project in Maldives, but we are working on it. In South Asia, well, we have these 5 guiding regional strategies that we are following. Of course, the biggest one would be on our SASEC, our South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Corporations, which guide us on the development on rails and highway within and the connectivities within these countries. So of course, we focus on railway development, highway connectivities, but we also tap on to the last mile connectivity and trace and facilitations under the SASAC corporations. If you search, we also have a website on SASAC, lists out all the up and coming corridors that is planned and will be in the action plans posted in the website. So next is the network development for the national rail and metro system. This will be covering India and the Bangladesh. Apart from the rail and metro, state highway, district highway, and rural roads are also one of our focus in the South Asia countries. The up and coming would be the urban transport, green and smart mobilities, and we will have projects on these coming up in Nepal and India. And last but not least, we are covering road safety in all the regions, and we try to work with all the governments and our counterparts on improving the road safety situations in the region. So what's special in the South Asia's transport sector in terms of procurement or the business model? So in South Asia, we have a relatively higher project readiness. Most of the projects we do tender out before the project approval by the ADB board or our management. So you will see some of the projects even not approved, but having a pre-agreement using an ADB accepted procurement approach. The project or it could be a consultant project or a contractor civil works project will be already listed up in our opportunities or with the government procurement website. And next, if you have not visited our South Asia countries, we are very rich, biodiversity-rich regions. You can name it, we have elephants, we have rhinos, tigers, all around us. And it is very important for us to look for firms and contractors that have the capacity to work with our friends, our wildlife friends, apart from humans. So, of course, safeguards is one of the important things that we are looking at when we're developing our transport system in these countries. Since we have, in South Asia, we tend to have a higher values and also more technically diverse projects. Apart from standard highway constructions or standard railway designs, actually we are also looking for other modes of transport that may be suitable for the country. We are having projects now starting with metro, bus transit, and up and coming maybe in cable cars in mountainous countries like Nepal and Bhutan. And overall, apart from the engineering, the technical part, we're also looking for capacity on GHG management throughout the entire life cycle, from the design stage, implementation stage, and operation stage. So this is one thing, this is new, and also is ADB focused on reducing the GHG footprint in our portfolio. Resilient infrastructures, sloop designed, sloop protection designed, and flood-proof or climate-proof bridges will also be involved in all across on the projects in rails, highways, and even in bus transit or state road development. So it will be a multi-sectors, multi-engineering technique required projects. As I said, we are also moving to smart transportations. So the digitalization in the sector we will be paying more focus on the digitalization of the transport sector, including using the drone mapping, GPS-based machines and tracking system, and contract management platform. We also encourage the government to adopt using sensors, GPS, AI to monitor instant traffic, including the traffic during our construction stage, or maybe using these data eventually for our data-driven planning. Recently, we have completed 2 highway master plans using these digital data, mobile phone movements, and signal movement on your smart app. So these are shifts that we are also trying to collaborate with our government counterparts to build our future transport investment. So this is the interesting part. I think everybody would want to look at this as the actual some opportunities coming up in our countries. So as my colleague says, we have a booth that have our full list of opportunities and project upcoming. You can get it from outside in the corridor. If not, you can also refer in here. So just, you may also want to take a look, pay attention to the one that with the red timing section. We actually have 2 projects that is ongoing out in tendering. So here, I only listed the opportunities that are upcoming in the next quarter and in Q1 2026. And others, it will be, I have listed as a project base. We have a relatively largest portfolio, and these projects will involve different types of civil works packages, consultants, and also preparatory TAs that helping us on doing the due diligence works. Well, you may always refer to our ADB project website and also the CMS for the consultants. Well, I'm sure that our procurement colleagues has already briefed you through this morning on those, where you can look for our opportunities. Like the other regions, we also have non-landing pipelines, or we call it technical assistance, which will be mostly managed by ADB staff. So we are covering multi-sectors in here, from railway improvement to smart transport to EVs and master plan. So while here is just only some example, but we are developing different technical assistance according to the needs, the changing needs with the government. And please do take a look in our CMS. It will be a most updated information over there. So thank you, and hope you have a good day here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Angel. And now our journey is about to come to an end. And the final destination is Southeast Asia. Manila, the Philippines, where the BOF is happening. May I have Tomo, who is an expert about this region, who will walk you through the opportunities this region may bring to you. Over to you, Tomo.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to Manila, and thank you very much for your interest in the transport sector. I'm Tomo Kawabata. I'm currently responsible for managing an ongoing transport project in Southeast Asia. I joined ADB 2012, and including my tenure at the World Bank, I've experienced multiple regions, including South Asia, Southern Africa, Pacific, and currently with Southeast Asia. So please allow me to dive into the slides. Just taking a step back, overall transport portfolio, regardless of the region, combined is 35 billion approximately at the moment, out of which Southeast Asia accounts for 11 billion. The biggest client among the Southeast 8 DMCs is the Philippines, where we have 9.2 billion of portfolio there, followed by Vietnam, 1.1 billion. So within the Philippines portfolio, the largest subsector is actually the railways and metro railways, especially, where out of 9.2, 4.5 is North-South Commuter Rail, and followed by the e-bus project in Davao, which is 1.0 billion. And the rest is roads and bridges, including the Bataan-Cavite Bridge. This is the summary of our strategy. You will notice that in the old days, ADB is used to be called as the Road and Bridge Construction Bank, which is true in the old days. I think in 2010, our portfolio, approximately 80% of our transport portfolio was roads in 2010. However, at the moment, our road subsector only accounts for less than 50%, which means that our financing has been shifted or towards more towards beyond the infrastructure. We are more focused on connectivity and the movement of people. That's how we see ourselves evolving in the transport sector. Going back to the strategy, the first one and the last one related to the roads. And you will see the second and third one related to urban mobility. This is the lending pipeline for this year. There's only one ongoing project processing at the moment, which is Indonesia, South Java Road. The second one is Marlos Clark Railway project, which was already approved. This is part of our MFF, which is, in our terminology, this is equivalent to line of credit. This is basically tranche 2 is already fully appraised under the tranche 1. So the purely new project in terms of the pipeline this year is this Indonesia road project. This is the non-lending pipeline, including grant and the TA. The first one is the grant for Timor-Leste. This one is a bit interesting project where it involves but a pilot testing of nature-based solutions for road subsector in selected locations. The rest is the TAs. You will see the middle twos are the regional TAs, and then subsequently followed by other TAs, single countries, including the next slides, country-based, most of which are supporting safeguards, to be precise. This is a lending pipeline for projects for 2026 and in 2028, which means further down in the future. So less promising compared to the 2025 commitment, but including the next 3 years, these are the pipeline projects. You would see that traditional projects in the roads are also there, like Cambodia, but at the same time, you would see a lot of urban mobility projects, including those in Indonesia, such as MRT or Damri electric bus projects. Those are covered by our smart mobility team. And we continue to provide support to our regional connectivity initiatives, such as this Lao Greater Mekong Subregion. And those projects with tranches, as again, these are the subsequent tranches of the ongoing MFFs, multi-tranche financing facilities. Only new projects under this slide is MRT4 in the Philippines and the Mindanao Roads Phase 2. And followed by the Philippines, we do have a variety of road projects in Timor-Leste, as most of the ongoing road project in the Timor-Leste is closing this year. It's a good timing for us to commence our re-engagement with Timor-Leste. And also at the bottom of this slide, you will see this Vietnam 2 project being proposed. In the transport sector, our last investment loan in Vietnam was December 2018. And since then, we have not had any opportunity to support the road sector in the Vietnam. This is primarily because in 2019, Vietnam was recategorized to OCR regular loan country. So therefore, they're no longer eligible for concessional loan. So therefore, over the past 7 years, we've been communicating with the government to keep us engaged despite that the new lending rate is applicable to OCR regular loan. And the details will be provided as a handout. I will not go through the details of the packages, but just to briefly capture this, the BOF is already an ongoing project. And the bottom one, the North Luzon, is a pipeline project. And for the Philippines, Mindanao Phase 2 is a pipeline project. Laguna Lakeshore Phase 2, also pipeline projects. And Cambodia Road Network Improvement, these are all pipeline projects. The Lao Vientiane Sustainable Urban Transport Project is an ongoing project. This is urban mobility project. And the bottom two for Indonesia are both pipeline projects. And the issues and challenges, of course, I think my previous mission leaders have already covered a lot of the challenges, so I would not go into details. But in terms of Southeast Asia context, if I were to just pick one, I think the rapid urbanization is obviously a challenge in the Philippines. I think for example, in Metro Manila, or if I compare with the city where I grew up in Tokyo, we have 14 million people living in city of Tokyo, and we have 14 metro lines running. However, in Metro Manila, population is 24 million. I think the DOTR targets to operationalize 11 to 14 metro lines. So I would see that is coming up in the future. Yep, so that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Tomo, and thank you all, Unuru, Rita, Tomo, and Angel, for very informative presentations. We now have some time for Q&A. And the audience, if you have any question to our panel, please come to the nearest microphone to introduce yourself and raise your question. We also have the app. You can send your question through the app, but I encourage you to take the floor. This is one of the reasons why you came here, right? Okay? Anyone? Okay, so while we are waiting for your questions to come, perhaps let's have some conversation with our great presenters or panelists. You are still very young. You are kind of rising stars in the transport sector and also in ADB. But I know that you have a lot of experience in working on ADB funded projects. May I ask each of you to give your top 3 messages to the audience to help them win ADB funded contracts and also to build their reputation in your respective regions. So who want to start first? Okay, Unuru?
Thank you. Thank you. So there's no question. Either it's very clear or it's very, blurry. So I'll try to share my experience in working in this area and overall engaged in procurement activities. So top 3 advice from me is like the careful preparation, good preparation, and well preparation. So because I just want to illustrate it a little further, because oftentimes we ended up reviewing all of the submissions that you spend so much time. So there are, several, mainly common mistakes or common, the mistakes that we observe is this not well prepared documents are submitted. So since you're interested in business opportunities, like you should also take a proper time to prepare for the bidding documents. That's one. Secondly, the proper project, the site assessment is required, because given that the regional connectivity becoming at the core of our business operations, some of the project sites are quite isolated from the central area or the urban area. So which requires maybe give you an extra layer of extra costs, so additional burden to carry out the project. So please also do proper due diligence on the project site assessment. The thirdly, from my side, also gladly that this across, all of our colleagues are shared. So please do also do a proper assessment of the respective government's regulations and approval procedures. It often, ended up being arguments or the conflicts, or some disputes between the contractors and the government. So, which at the end of the day, ADB is helping the governments to reach their goals. Government is also willing to develop the infrastructure. You are the contractors and the supporters really helping the governments and involving in the procurement. So at the end of the day, we are on the same page. We working towards the same purpose. So with that reason, before applying or submitting your procurement proposals, please do careful assessment of the government regulations and the approval procedures. Yeah, I stop here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Unuru. So 3 things. One is a proper preparation, right? Second, know the projects, right? And third one is know the country and the government. Excellent advices. And now it's you, right, Ritu?
Well, okay. Is this working? Okay, so basically, it's the first advice I would like to give is something similar to Unru. Is basically understanding the context, right? When we see most of the proposals submitted, either it's relating to individual consultants or consulting services or firm, is either a copy paste from several other contracts. So we would recommend to follow more a tailored approach based on the country, based on the assignment, based on the context, based on the government, which is quite essential for the successful completion of the project. That's number one. The second one I would like to say is always present a clear and value-added approach. Sometimes people just look into the minimum requirements and just apply accordingly, right? So rather than just looking into the minimum requirements, we would always appreciate the proposals that stand out, explaining how you will deliver efficiently, how you are going to manage risks, and leave behind some lasting benefits like local training, innovation, sustainability, resilience. So if those aspects are clearly defined in your proposal, that clearly stands out the proposal. And the third one, which is similar to the second one, but be competitive in value, not only in price, right? So if we just look into competition in the price, I think we also need to look into the value and make our proposal stand out in terms of quality, innovation, and local benefit. This really helps to bring your proposal stand out of all of the proposals submitted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the first one is know the context, right? And second one, okay, respond to the requirements. And the third one is add value. Is that right? Excellent. Next, Tomo?
Okay, actually I have nothing to advise from my side. I know that the people convened here are all professional. But what I can tell is that the good work, really cumulative good track record of good work really build trust between ADB and the consulting firms or contractors. That's for sure. I think development business is never easy. It's very complicated, where you have to deal with multiple stakeholders, not just the client in terms of the implementing agency or executing agencies, but there are a lot of restriction beyond the project scope. Internally, ADB side, we also have our mandate, and also we have our shareholders who's also looking carefully at our due diligence. So I think what matters to us is that the quality of work that has been delivered to date really helps build the trust. That's how I sense it. Thank you.
Okay, so build reputation, build trust, and what else? Only two. Okay, that's great. And you? Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure whether I can give 3, but of course I agree with all my colleagues have said. Yet targeting on what we need on our question that we asked about the understanding of the government, the country, and the project. From me, well, I also look into a lot of the expert that is being proposed. If it is a firm, a TA contract specialist, that these people, whether they are just a CV proposal or whether it is a real staff working in the country. So this is one of the things that I value a lot as a specialist working in ADB. Second, I also look for the knowledge transfer opportunity, how the international firm can take the lead and have the opportunity to transfer the knowledge to the local partners that you partner with, JV, or associated with. So this is something we're also, as a development bank, we're also looking for this opportunity to happen. We don't want just one local team that is organizing meetings or workshops and breaking the communication gaps. But we also want the knowledge transfer, the technologies to be moving from our developed countries to our developing countries members. So I hope too it is enough to the question. Thank you.
Okay, so basically the two advices. One is to partner with local firms or companies or organizations to have a better local knowledge, right? And second, in working with them, you should transfer knowledge and build capacity for your local partners. That is a great advice. And because ADB as a development institution, our focus is to build capacity for our DMC, the member countries. So thank you very much for your great messages. I think it's about time. Okay. Looks like that we have some questions here. Actually, I'm very bad at this. I don't know how to use this. Wow. Okay, let's start with the first one. How can emerging firms with 10-year experience effectively compete with established international consultants? 10 years of experience, in my opinion, it's a lot already, right? It's emerging. Of course, when you compare with firms with 100 years or 80 years, right? But 10 years is good enough. How can they compete with established international consultants? So this is a very generic advice from me. Initially, it may not be easy for you to get the opportunities to win contracts in ADB financed project with limited experience. But the way you build experience is to associate with more experienced firm, and this is a great opportunity for you to connect with more experienced firms as a sub-consultant or as a JV partner first, and then gradually you build your experience, and then later on you can bid on your own as a single firm. That is my advice. Now I see someone from the floor here, so I give the opportunities to those who takes the floor. Over to you.
Thank you. My name is Imad Abu Sulaiman. I work with a company called the Global Development Catalyst. We work in Nepal, in Indonesia, and in Timor-Leste in the transport sector. But we don't work with ADB. Similar to the question that you've been asked, sometimes it's very difficult to team with existing firms because they don't want to bring competition to build competition for future procurement. So any other advice that you can provide when we have the technical skills, we have the country experience, but we don't have the ADB experience. We hesitate to bid on projects because it takes us a lot of effort and money to bid on these projects, knowing that there are existing firms with a lot of ADB experience that potentially are preferred by ADB when they don't know us. So any advice other than teaming with existing firms that they don't want to bring us on board because they don't want to build future competition?
Okay, another excellent question. Okay, start small. That is my advice. When you have not much experience, you should look for opportunities for small contracts, the one you are kind of specialized in. It can be ADB-funded contracts. It can be other donors-funded contracts. It can be government-funded contracts. When you compete for ADB finance contracts, of course, we value ADB experience in ADB-funded projects. But of course, when you have a lot of experience outside ADB, we still value. I'm sure. Because if you are like a highly specialized in certain area, like not so many firms available in the market can do certain kind of assignment or work, then you have a high chance to win the contract. Have I answered your question? Okay, excellent. We have some...
Just to add on that is, this is the opportunity for you to meet us. Not only us, four of us, but also our colleagues that are available this week in our office. If you have identified any projects or region that you want to see, please approach the booth and they can make the arrangement for you.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have a gentleman over there.
Good
Over to you.
afternoon. My name is Jonathan Jacob. I work for Sistri. We're an urban development firm based in Singapore. I guess my question would be, what would be the opportunities to bridge some of the gaps in expertise in some of those projects that might be transportation projects that are very engineering-led? So what I mean by that is, obviously, a lot of those projects are funded in where the priority is really to deliver the transport infrastructure, but all the interface with the communities, the local area planning, the public realm improvement usually may not necessarily be a priority as part of the project delivery process. So I'm just thinking opportunities, for example, for transit-oriented development, land value capture, local area planning around the stations. So what would be the opportunities to bring those components as part of a value-add component in some of those ADB-funded transportation projects? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any of you want to answer this question? Excellent.
Yep, thank you very much. I think that kind of activity is relatively considered as upstream work. So therefore, I think the early involvement with the government at the planning stage, for example, would be, I would say, would be more effective timing rather than waiting for any specific consulting service assignment to be advertised. I think that's number one. And number two is that, of course, when we assess the opportunity for ADB support, we always look into the country's strategy or their master plan. So it's safe to play around within the country's strategy so that ADB eventually, when we get intervention, we would primarily focus on those priority areas.
Thank you. Okay, we have another one from over there. Okay. Sorry for that.
Yes, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for your very nice presentations, very insightful on the challenges and opportunities in the different regions. I appreciated that you also mentioned the Green Roads Toolkit in the beginning, which actually I think can very much help to link the different agendas that you already work on. So not only transport, but also the biodiversity, the climate resilience, the flood resilience. My name is, by the way, David. I'm working with Meta. Meta is one of the authors of the Green Roads Toolkit. I think this is really helpful to inform future upcoming infrastructure projects, but that is more, of course, on the demand side, on the government side, on the key stakeholder side. But on the supply side, of course, we can also in our proposals think of linking transport, linking mobility to also biodiversity, climate, etc. And I'm wondering if maybe from the transport specialist, like if you have some key advice to us, to consulting firms, on how to integrate the key sector that we are talking about, transport, with other sectors that are really relevant, especially in light of the challenges that you presented in the different regions. So some advice on that would be very welcome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, who wants to take this question?
Well, thank you very much for this interesting question. Yes, Green Roads Toolkit is is an initiative launched by ADB since last year in May. But this is a tool which features 9 different thematic areas, as you said, from climate change to biodiversity, and covers all these aspects. There's like more than 150 examples embedded in the toolkit itself. And when you say in terms of using the toolkit by the consulting firms or by any designers, well, the toolkit can be used in different stages, from at the designing stage, at the planning stage, at the implementation stage, or even post-implementation, depending on your requirement, depending on your project scope, size, and amount, right? So when you are just thinking of designing the project, you need to define your theme, define your agenda, what is your target of the project, and depending on that, you can start designing. And if it's already implemented, and if you are trying to look into building more climate adaptation or enhancing its mitigation aspect, you can start integrating at that point as well. So there's no any limitations when you should start integrating. And it, of course, depends on government's priorities, depending on your project scope and the amount, how much you want to invest in the project. So if you have any additional clarifications, I can have separate chat with you and link you with the PTA of this assignment. Thank you.
Okay, so I think this will be the last question, because we have another session coming up soon. Okay, over to you.
Yeah, I am Anupam Mishra from the Segmental Infrastructure Development Limited, India. I have a specific question. At the EOI, this is particular reference to the construction supervision jobs for consultants. At the EOI stage, terms of reference is released by the in the advertisement. So there is an input which the consultant is required to give, that is comments on the TOR. So I want to know from the ADB team that what is the expectation from the consultant for this particular aspect?
Okay, thank you very much. This is a great question. My colleagues can add later, but let me share with you. Yes, it's true that in our EOI expressions of interest template, we have one box or section for you to provide comments on the TOR. The TOR is normally prepared by our clients, our executing agencies, project owner. And many times we also, ADB, we also provide inputs. But of course, we, the government, ADB, have tried our best. But still, sometimes we may not foresee issues which maybe the private sector, you know better. And that is the main reason why we invite you to provide comments on the TOR. And in your comments, we do take into account because at the EOI stage, we advertise, the borrower advertise the TOR, but it may be adjusted at the proposal preparation stage. So your comments will be considered, taken into account in the updated TOR when they issue the request for proposals. Anyone want to add to this? Okay. Okay, I still see a long list of the questions here, but I'm very sorry that we have to close our section here because we have another session coming up soon. Thank you very much, the panel, for your times and your great presentations. And of course, thank you the audience for your very active participation. And please join me in giving everyone another warm round of applause. Thank you, and I hope you have enjoyed the session and enjoy your time in Manila.